Getting ready for a storm chaser's delight later this week with multiple days of severe weather expected, and it looks like Friday could be the most active day ahead. We'll have a detailed look coming your way next. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Weather Nerds YouTube channel. I'm your host, Greg Majeski, your personal weatherman, and making a difference one subscriber at a time. And before we get rolling, if you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're alerted on future content. And if you like this report, give me a thumbs up. I really do appreciate all your help. All right, we're looking here at the Storms Prediction Center, day 4 outlook here as we're looking at severe weather here for this upcoming Thursday. Kind of catching a little bit of Nebraska coming back toward Texas as we're going to watch this piece of energy. It's going to kind of rotate out of the Rockies. And as it does so, it'll expand out on day 5. This is going into your Friday from Iowa, stretching back through Kansas City, coming down toward Oklahoma City and into the Dallas-Fort Worth area as we head in throughout the day on Friday. So Friday appears to be the most active of the days. And then we got another piece of energy coming out behind it. That could set up some severe weather here back in the southern plains again for Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas as we head into this upcoming Saturday. So it looks like a pretty active end to the month of April as the potential for tornadoes obviously will be there. Now, what's interesting so far as we take a look at what we've seen so far for this year, we've been running fairly close to average. The first 3 months, you see the red bar there, that's the illustration of how many tornadoes we've had so far. And the red line is your average line. So we've been running just a little bit above average, just slightly. So it'll be interesting to see what that final tornado count for April will be and see how these numbers will begin to adjust. So as we do a deep dive analysis of the models, we're looking at the European model. We're going to first start off with that jet stream. That's what drives the weather systems across the country. So let me get on out of the way here as we're going to be focusing in on this piece of energy here coming off the California coast. This is into your Wednesday afternoon. So there's your piece of energy that's going to kind of rotate in here. And that's what's going to be responsible for setting off our active weather as we head into your Thursday and especially on Friday. So watch as I take this thing forward here as we go throughout the day on Thursday. You kind of see it kind of pulling out into the southern plains by late in the afternoon as we've seen that jet energy here kind of sweeping in from the south and from the west here. That'll provide that additional energy as this system begins to pull out into the plains heading throughout the day on Friday. So that's when we'll see the biggest area going into late afternoon Friday from Iowa stretching back toward Texas with that severe weather threat there for late in the afternoon. Now behind that we've got another piece of energy here, this back here that's diving to the south. This is going to be setting up that severe weather going into Saturday, and I couldn't rule out Sunday as well, but look what happens when you go into Saturday. That one piece of energy that was responsible for the active energy on Friday, it's kind of dissipated and moved up to the north. It's being replaced by this secondary piece of energy coming through areas of Arizona and into New Mexico as we go into late afternoon on Saturday. That's what will set up the severe weather for Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas throughout the day on Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening. And then this piece of energy begins to move up toward the north as we go throughout the day on Sunday. So couldn't rule out Sunday as well, potentially there into Iowa, into Missouri, and stretching back into Arkansas as that lifts up toward the north and then begins to flatten on out. Then we'll watch a big storm system out off the west coast that'll be coming in toward your Monday. That we'll see how that one propagates as we go into the following week to see if that will set off some more active weather a little bit. Looks like more toward the higher plains as we go into the middle of next week as this begins to swing on out into the central portion of the country. So as we come in here a little bit closer here across the continental United States, we're focusing in on the 500 millibar height anomaly. You notice that little blue area there off the California coastline. That is our piece of energy that's going to be responsible for our active weather as we go throughout the day on Thursday and Friday. Watch as I bring this forward in throughout the day on Thursday as it kind of slides into the southwest across areas of Arizona and New Mexico. That's what will be setting off the active weather there initially out there in the southern plains on your Thursday. And then this piece of energy begins to pull off into the central portion of the country. You can see it there through Nebraska and Kansas, and that'll be responsible for the active weather later in the afternoon. Notice back behind it, though, we have another piece of energy that's diving down through California, Nevada, and Utah. This is another piece of energy that'll be setting off that active severe weather on Saturday. As the other one goes to the north, it's weakening, being replaced by this other piece of energy sliding in through the southwest portion of the United States and pulling it through Texas. So an active severe weather day across Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas throughout the day on Saturday, but also notice it too is weakening. So as we progress in throughout the day on Sunday, again, it's weakening enough to where I don't know if we'll have a very active severe weather day on Sunday. Maybe a marginal risk. We'll see how it works out. And then just kind of flattens lines and moves up toward the north. And then we'll watch that more vigorous storm system that'll be moving into the Pacific Northwest as we head into next week, into Tuesday and Wednesday. And that could provide some more active weather as we head into the following week, as we roll into the month of May. So we know by looking at the upper levels, we have the dynamics there, the energy there for the potential for thunderstorms. Now we're looking at the surface. So we're looking at the available CAPE. That's fuel energy that helped support the development of potential supercell thunderstorms that could also produce tornadoes. So I'll go and get on out of here as we track the activity CAPE, the surface CAPE here, as we go in throughout the day on Thursday. You're going to notice it kind of getting kicked up there as we head into the late afternoon hours on Thursday from Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. That is that day 4 outlook we were talking about there with that active severe weather firing up in that part of the country. Then as we progress through the overnight hours on Thursday and into Friday, even though we're losing that daytime heating, the CAPE stays pretty elevated going up into Nebraska. This is going into the overnight hours, going into Friday morning here. And this will progress off toward the east a little bit, going into Nebraska and Iowa, stretching back toward Texas throughout the day on Friday. So it looks like Friday could be an active weather afternoon. Then things begin to settle down to the north. We shift back down toward the south, toward Texas, as we'll see things begin to increase down this way as that next piece of energy comes in as we head throughout the day on Saturday. So we're looking again at areas from Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, kind of getting into Oklahoma City and Dallas-Fort Worth and the southeastern portions of Kansas throughout the day on Saturday, with some pretty sufficient high CAPE into that area to support those thunderstorms. And then as we go into Sunday, notice the CAPE really kind of drops off there into Sunday. Got a little bit in there as we go throughout the afternoon on Sunday, but again, not expecting a big event on your Sunday. Things should settle down. And then we'll shift our attention to our next big storm system as I go ahead and take this all the way out to the end of its run here, going into Wednesday. You're going to notice that CAPE really kind of shoot up way up into the high plains as we go into late in the day on Wednesday, as we watch that next vigorous storm system slide out of the Rockies. So we're looking at another plains event for severe weather as we head toward the middle of next week. So we're going to start off here by looking late in the day on Wednesday. We're seeing a little bit of rain and maybe a few thunderstorms here across portions of Kansas and Oklahoma right through here. That could be marginal severe risk. Really not overly concerned about it. And I'm not overly concerned about Thursday. Really, Friday appears to be the most vigorous of the days as we go into the future. So let's go ahead and take a look at this as we go forward here throughout the day on your Thursday. So we're going into Thursday afternoon here, and noticing a little bit of activity there across portions of Kansas and Oklahoma. Not very aggressive here, showing at where the Storms Prediction Center was showing where the activity was. There's some storms in there, but Europeans not really overly crazy about it on Thursday. But watch what happens as we go forward into Friday, as that low kind of comes out of Colorado there and starts to move up toward the north and east as we go into Friday morning. So we start seeing some more activity there across portions of Oklahoma and Texas, and that could potentially be where we see that weather kind of get more active into Friday morning. But it really gets going by the late afternoon hours here as we progress throughout the daytime, heating there, and you see in the kind of spin of that low pressure system by late in the day. So my area for concern for potential tornadoes, at least looking at where the proximity of the low and where the best wind shear will probably be, will be up here across Iowa, maybe into northern Missouri, perhaps getting into southern Minnesota. That'll be my target zone for the active severe weather on your Friday afternoon. Now, as we go forward, you're going to notice that storm system begins to weaken. The pressure starts to come on up as it moves up into Minnesota. Then we'll turn our attention back toward Texas once again as the low pulls out of New Mexico and into Texas there. You're seeing these storms begin to fire across Oklahoma and northern Texas, getting pretty close to Dallas there. A bit of a squall line forming there by late in the afternoon on Saturday across southern Kansas, coming through eastern Oklahoma, back toward Texas, getting awfully close to Dallas there as the squall line pushes into Missouri. So that'll be the area that we'll be looking for the potential for severe weather as we go into late in the day on Saturday and going into your Sunday. That pulls up toward the north. Again, could not rule out maybe a marginal risk of severe weather there across portions of Missouri, maybe getting into Iowa on Sunday. But that storm system kind of weakens a bit as it pulls up toward the north, seeing some storms stretching all the way back across portions of Illinois back toward Arkansas and Texas. Doesn't appear to be all that gung-ho. And then we'll see what happens as that next storm system kind of pulls out of the west coast area, and we'll see what happens late in the day on Wednesday. This is kind of interesting here as we've kind of got this these individual storms kind of firing up in here to see if any of these will be setting up severe weather in the middle of the country as that next big piece of energy pulls out of the Rockies and into the middle portion of the country. So as you can see, we've got some pretty active weather kind of beginning on Thursday, but really getting cranking on Friday and into Saturday. So I am expecting to do some severe weather coverage on your Friday. So if you would like to be notified of when that coverage begins, all you got to do is subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you're alerted on when that future content is posted, and obviously when those live broadcasts will begin as well. That'll do it for this edition. Again, I appreciate everybody's support for this channel, growing a little bit at a time, and that's okay. All right, you guys take it easy. We'll see you on the next update. Until then, be good, stay safe, and we'll see you next time.